Okay.
Now is it being recorded?
Now, yeah. Give me a second.
um, I'll try my best to suppress my coughs, but that's the one side effect I still got. So.
All right. Cool. All right.
Now is it being recorded?
Yeah.
Oh,
Give me a second.
is that you?
Yeah, it's
okay,
the
good.
YouTube channel opened up.
Oh, so there's a delay. Okay.
Okay, so we gotta mute that.
Yes, please.
All right, and record. All right. All right, so Gabriel, I guess I should just like open this up. All right, well, welcome to Dropping the Hammer with Dan McFadden. We're recording this at 9:03 p.m. Central Time, Sunday, June 12th. This is an emergency recording of the podcast after the historic win by Daniel Suarez in the NASCAR Cup Series race at Sonoma Raceway. He becomes the first Mexican-born driver to win a NASCAR Cup race. He's the fifth foreign driver to win, and it's now Trackhouse's third Cup win this season. And I'm joined as often as we can be by my friend John LaFollette. And we are also joined today as a special guest by Gabriel Johnson, who is okay. So Gabriel, I saw your tweets that you sent out earlier today, right after the win. You saying that this was the first time that you've legitimately cried after a NASCAR race, and that as a Hispanic Latino, this meant more to you than, I guess, Kyle Busch is your favorite driver. Is that right?
Yeah, it's my favorite driver.
Okay, so this meant more to you than any other Kyle Busch win. So,
correct.
So first off, I guess, where do you live? Like, how old are you? Like, give us your story. How are you a NASCAR fan?
Yeah, my story as a NASCAR fan is really very interesting. I come, like I said, I come from a Hispanic country, but it's not like the ones that you would expect, like Mexico, Puerto Rico, not the usual. I'm from the Dominican Republic, actually.
Okay.
First time I ever paid attention to NASCAR, it was actually by sheer accident. This happened all the way back in 2004, I believe.
Okay.
This was some random Friday night in the middle of summer. I believe it was like early August, so had a few more weeks of summer break. I was actually bored. This was an era before video games. This was before they gave me this was a few months before my first ever GameCube. Before my parents gave me my first ever GameCube for Christmas. So
Oh
this
boy,
was a time before video games.
This is dating it. Okay.
Yeah, we're dating it back. Like my only source of entertainment was like an hour of computer a day, and then TV, like cartoons. This was a very slow day, especially for a Friday night. Like there were no not interesting cartoons, which you almost never see. Like for a 6-7-year-old person like me, you never. This is something unprecedented. So I just started like changing channels some randomly, and I randomly stumbled upon this truck race at IRP, I believe. Fun fact, as a matter of fact, this was when I look back on this race, this was actually Denny Hamlin's Truck Series debut, which
Oh, wow.
is not a big deal.
Oh, okay.
Not a big deal because this was after he had made his Xfinity or Busch Series debut back then. But a little fun fact that I want to remember this race for. And, I've rewatched this race a few times for nostalgia's sake. Last time I rewatched the race was like a few years ago. But the point I want to take away from this race is that this got me into NASCAR. This really put the idea of, if I don't have anything to see on the weekends or something like that, then there's this stuff called NASCAR on Speed Channel, I believe, because we had Speed Channel back here in Latin America. We did have it. So while I never really paid attention to NASCAR that seriously until around 2007, 2008, there were like a few races from there until now that I actually started like paying attention to. I remember the Talladega race from '06, the one where Brian Vickers got into Junior. The race ended up being like Vickers' first career win. He ended up taking out Junior and Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah.
That was like a crazy race too.
Add that race to the lengthy list.
Yeah.
Of Dale Jr. should have won.
Yeah, I'm sorry for unlocking that core memory from you. I'm sorry if I touched.
I actually might have been at that truck race that you watched on TV. I only went to one truck race at IRP, and it might have been around 2004. I can't remember the year, but I'm going to the truck race this year. That track is like an 8-mile drive from my house. It's right down the road. So standing offer, if you ever come to the States, let me know. We'll go to race together, or and not just here in Indy, but anywhere in the States. Let me know. I will gladly go to a NASCAR race with you. Trucks, Xfinity, Cup level, doesn't matter. But when you said IRP, that's why I did my fist bump, because I'm from the area and I was probably at that race. So that's really neat.
Okay, Gabriel, just make sure. Do you still live in the Dominican Republic?
I still live in that country. Aside from the 2 weeks that I spent at Disney World, I never left my country.
Okay, when was that? When was that trip?
This is actually a very special trip for me. The trip to Disney World, Universal, because on that trip I got what is actually the only few pieces of NASCAR merchandise that to this day I still have. I check my wardrobe right now. I think I have them right around here. Memory serves. Oh, here they are. I got this. This is back from 2009. This is a Carl Edwards Aflac hat. It's a bit dusty.
That was at Disney World?
This was a Disney World. It was a NASCAR place back then. I don't remember where the name of it, but it was a NASCAR themed restaurant, a bar, and right next to it, there was a shop. And we got all of this merch stuff. Got this Kurt Busch hat too from 2009. He's got his autograph right here.
Well, there did used to be the racetrack at Disney back in like the 90s.
No, this was after. This was
oh yeah, I get that. But I'm trying to rationalize why there would be NASCAR merchandise at Disney World.
No, I'm telling you, there was a NASCAR bar, and to the next it was a shop, like the Walt Disney World Speedway. I believe it should have been like torn down ever since, or I don't know if it was torn down. It was never like around that area. I also got this Jimmy Johnson t-shirt. This is from back in 2008 when he won his 3rd straight title.
This is taking me back, man.
Yeah, this was my favorite t-shirt. I remember back in middle school, every time I got into parties with my friends, I always showed up with the same t-shirt.
Here comes that Jimmy Johnson kid again.
I can't stop smiling. This story just fills my heart with happiness. So you said your favorite driver is Kyle Busch, but then you're also a Suarez fan. I'm curious as to how you became a fan of both, because Suarez, as we saw today, very popular driver, was a very popular win, and then Kyle Busch, when he spins out, everyone in the stands is applauding. Like, it's just polar opposites. I'm just curious how you became a fan of both those drivers.
Yeah, my story as a Kyle Busch fan is rather interesting. Because back in 2004, my favorite driver wasn't even Kyle Busch. This was back when I was only watching a few trucks, Busch Series races. Kyle Busch was only just another driver back then. My favorite driver, actually, in 2004, they were the Robert Yates guys. You know, the M&M's cars from Elliott Sadler. That was my favorite car. It was very colorful. And maybe when I started paying attention to NASCAR in 2008, and when I saw that Kyle Busch had the M&M's car, and I also had made this relation because Kyle Busch he got driven like the Kellogg's at Tony the Tiger. And, you know, I also ate cereal for breakfast. And while I wasn't a very huge Frosted Flakes guy, I remember my aunt, she gave me like a CD in English of Tony the Tiger, so she could help me like practice my English. It was called Talking Tony, I believe. I believe it was
Wow.
called like that. The game was called Talking Tony. Came in a CD, and you know, I was never a huge Frosted Flakes guy. I ate them for breakfast, but they were never like my favorite cereal. But you know, I always loved Tony the Tiger, and when I saw like Kyle Busch during the Tony the Tiger stuff, I instantly became a fan of that guy. I it also helped the fact that I was also a rebel back when I was like in elementary school, and watching Kyle Busch like rough people up and piss people off. That also kind of made me a fan of him because hey, maybe being a rebel ain't so bad after all. Now I've mellowed down, obviously, because with age, maturity, I've grown, and I've grown from that phase. But I still like the guy. I feel like, well, sometimes he's done some stuff that even I'm not gonna, defend him for, like the Hornady incident from 2011.
That's number one with the bullet.
Oh,
Yeah,
that was nasty. That was nasty. I almost quit being a Cowboys fan that day. And then the 2012 bot shootout happened, and to this day, that race is my favorite race of all time. Because if it wasn't for that race, I don't know if I'll still be a Cowboys fan. Can you guys hear me? I think I just.
Yep, we can hear you.
You guys caught all that?
Yes. Yeah, we cut all
So
that.
if you want to like scoot to your left a little bit, you're kind of off center. So a little bit more.
Left.
There you go.
There you go.
Yes. Okay.
No, don't move the camera. Move it back.
Okay.
Move it back. You were good. A little bit more. All right, that should be good.
Okay. Thank you.
But yeah, we heard the whole story. Yeah, there's no audio issues coming through. So
yeah, you're good.
But yeah, how was it just the hey, here's a driver who looks like me? Was that all it was for Suarez? I mean, where'd the genesis for cheering for Daniel come from?
Yeah, for in the case of Suarez, it's also a very interesting story because the way I became a Suarez fan is very similar to the way I became a Sergio Perez fan, because I also watch Formula One. I remember back in 2008, there was this series called British Formula 3. This was this was a Wednesday. This was like a race recap that they put on Speed Channel. You know, they put other racing series in there. British Formula 3, and they put it like every Wednesday, I believe, like after. I said my internet is down. You guys can.
You're cutting in and out.
You're cutting in a little bit.
Yeah, I should have thought.
Oh, you're fine.
Yes. Guys, is this working? Hello?
Yeah,
we can hear you
right now. Yeah, right now it's working. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, it's working. Okay. Yeah. So Sergio, when I started watching that race that they were putting out there, it was the Monza race. This was a Wednesday after I had come home from school. I was doing my homework, watching the TV as well, you know, for some background noise. And then I watched. I kind of overheard from the TV that there was a Mexican guy on the grid. I didn't watch Formula One much. This was back in 2008, so I didn't care much about. But I always knew that it was like very Eurocentric sport. So to watch a guy from the West, from the Western Hemisphere, especially from Mexico, like Sergio. And I remember he swept both of those Monza races. I know this was like a Formula 3, and this was like back when his career was only beginning. But I became a Sergio fan that day, and I started following him very closely from his journey to Formula 2 all the way onto Formula 1. And I've been a Checo fan ever since. when he almost won that race. I believe it was in 2012 when he was catching Fernando Alonso. I thought he was gonna win, but then he like beat one corner and he had to settle for second. That was so heartbreaking for me. I also remember that 2020 that was ended off his first career win. That was the year before he signed with Red Bull. This was a very long overdue win, and I felt so happy for him. Of course, I didn't shed a tear because, again, I don't watch Formula One as much as I follow NASCAR, but I really felt happy for Checo that day. So in a way, now my story with Suarez is back in 2014, I believe, there was like a Mexican driver like in the K&N. This was actually 2012, I believe. I was watching like that Bowman Gray Stadium race that was like amazing. I love that race. I believe a YouTuber named Slap Shoes, he made a race review on that race. The one where Corey LaJoie like dominated and Moffitt and Baba ended up like in a scuffle. Yeah, that I remember watching that race, and I also remember that Suarez was in that race, and there have been like a few Mexican drivers in the K&N Pro Series that they don't really mount to anything. So Suarez being there, I kind of just Mexican drivers in NASCAR, cool, but it was like this was like Division 4 NASCAR. I didn't really pay much attention to that because very rarely do these guys make it into the top series. But then I saw Suarez, back in here in Latin America. We go for the Speed channel, Fox Sports 3, and they put out a lot of like NASCAR Mexico because that's the series that they cover in most in Latin America. I saw Suarez and he won a couple of races there, and I remember that he was the same guy that was driving in K&N and say, hey, this kid's something. Then in the summer of 2014, they announced the whole like Carl Edwards, Suarez going to Xfinity deal, and that's when I started like paying attention to this kid, and I said, hey, maybe this guy can be something. If Joe Gibbs Racing sees something in this guy, then at this point I got to start paying attention to him. And that rookie class, him 2015, him going up against Bubba Wallace. The diversity class, as I like to call it.
Right.
I was Team Suarez all the way. I kind of wanted, I'm not going to lie, I kind of wanted Bubba to finish, behind Suarez. It's not that I wanted Bubba to do bad, but I just didn't want him to do better than Suarez. I just didn't have anything against him. Just don't finish better than my guy, because I want Suarez to win.
We all have tiers when it comes to who our favorite athletes are. It's like, this is my guy, but this is also my guy. But if it comes down to it, I want my number one guy to win. So we all got, it's just tiers for everything. So.
Yeah.
Gabriel, I'm curious if you could just take us through just this race, just watching this race for you, because I know that this last lap, he leads by 6 seconds, and it's pretty much over at that point, assuming there's no engine issues or anything that happens. But
AJ Allmendinger going
or AJ Allmendinger almost bringing out a caution. But like,
my heart stopped at that moment.
Yes. But for a good chunk of his portion out front, he was being hounded by Chris Buescher. And there was a portion there where like Harvick was probably going to make some moves on him there as well. Like, it wasn't necessarily a gimme throughout this race. And as a Suarez fan, I'm sure there have been so many instances throughout his whole career, not even including this season, where it seems like it's his day and then it's not.
I feel like we should like briefly like recap like what the Daniel Suarez experience has been like in the Cup Series.
Yeah, it's been...
because okay, first off, 2016 he wins the Xfinity title, first foreign-born NASCAR National Series champion, which at the time, and I still think that was a bigger deal than Jimmy Johnson getting number 7 the next day. It's like, oh, a guy does the same thing he's done 6 times before, fine, whatever. I sincerely still believe that Suarez title was a bigger deal than Johnson number 7. Anyway, a month later, Carl Edwards unexpectedly retires, and Suarez is thrust into that number 19 car for 2017. They were not planning for that.
No.
They thought there would be at least maybe another year of Suarez in Xfinity. So he gets paired up with Carl Edwards, crew chief, and so, I think he might have done a crew chief change like in the middle of that season, or something.
The first 5 races.
And then exactly. And then second year Joe Gibbs, I think he had another new crew chief, and then that ride went away to make room for Martin Truex Jr. So now he goes over to Stewart-Haas Racing. 1 year and done, making room for Cole Custer, whose dad works at Stewart-Haas Racing. And then he goes to Gaunt Brothers Racing, which is just bottomless tier as you can get in the NASCAR Cup Series. Doesn't have a charter, misses the Daytona 500.
And there was an article from him that season where he was saying the equipment he was using was like 8 years old.
Yeah, 8 years old.
Like ancient equipment.
Yeah, it was bad.
Like he was racing. He was racing for 30th every week.
Yeah, pretty much. And then you have last year. He lands this right at Trackhouse Racing. Co-owners, Justin Marks, Pitbull. What was his best race last year? I feel like
Bristol Dirt.
Yeah, Bristol Dirt.
Yeah. He almost wins Bristol Dirt. Should have won Bristol Dirt. Didn't win Bristol Dirt. And then this year, it's his first time. This is the most secure he's ever been, really, in 5 years. Has the same crew chief. First time back-to-back years with the same crew chief. And then he should have had a really good shot at winning Auto Club until you get that final restart where Larson overtakes him. Then you had Coda, dominates the first stage. Then he had a tire go down.
Oh, he spun out.
LaJoy hit him.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. That goes away. Chastain goes on the win. And then today happens. Nothing bad happens to Daniel Suarez. Absolutely nothing.
Right.
So 195th career start. His 4th team. 6 years into his Cup career. And today happens. All right. Gabriel, what was that last 30 laps like for you?
Yeah, last 30 laps, I was honestly tweeting, checking my Twitter and stuff. I wasn't really grasping how that Suarez was in the lead. I just thought some late race restart is going to happen. You know how road course races are, being a strategy game, especially Sonoma.
Yeah.
So the fact that Suarez was in the lead, guy leads a whole chunk of laps. Usually the guy who doesn't win the most laps wins on a road course. It's a guy that gets the strategy right and a little bit of timely caution. So for all I thought is just, some guys pitted before him. For all we knew, maybe a caution will come out. Everyone was going to pit and Suarez will just finish mid-pack. But as the laps winded down, no caution ever came out. Suarez, I believe he made its pit stop perfectly, or I don't know, maybe a caution did come out.
Well, there was the caution for Larson's right front going.
Yeah, it was that caution for Larson's loose wheel. Sorry. Yeah. Suarez actually cycled back into the lead, and I thought, maybe let's see how this restart goes. Restart goes well, but Chris Buescher is sizing him up. And you know how Chris Buescher, he was able to hold up pretty well against Chase Elliott. And Suarez is nowhere the road racer that Elliott is. So Buescher hounding him, I thought Buescher was going to get the lead. If Buescher was able to keep pace with Elliott, he's going to pass Suarez. He didn't pass him. Suarez actually started pulling away. And there
were a few times where he locks up his tires going into turn 11 and Buescher's able to get right there. It's like, oh gosh, okay.
But that was early in the restart. As the laps winded down, Suarez was actually pulling away. He got to on the final 10 laps, he got like a 2-3 second lead.
Yeah.
It wasn't this final 10 laps. It was at that moment that it finally started sink in that, whoa, Suarez can actually do this. And, they were giving us a lot of shots about Daniel's amigos. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's actually happening. And then with 5 to go, I'm like, he's still pulling away. It's now a 5-second lead. I'm like, please don't let a caution come out. Please don't let a caution come out. Shut up, Darian, shut up. And then a caution doesn't come out. Then the caution doesn't come out. 2 to go. Allmendinger spins. And then for a moment, my heart stops. And then Allmendinger gets it going and said, oh, okay. Don't scare me like that, AJ. Look, I love AJ and stuff. That Portland win was amazing, by the way. Congrats to AJ on that amazing comeback win in Portland. AJ almost really broke my heart at that moment.
I believe.
Luckily, he managed to get it back on.
I believe Suarez crew chief came over. Maybe it was either crew chief or a spotter came over the radio like right after that. So it said, "My heart has never sank so quickly."
Well, because like
that was me. That was
same.
all of us Suarez fans.
Yeah, it would be, and for good reason, because we've seen this happen time and time again. And usually when Suarez starts out strong and has he looks like he's got a strong car that can contend, something happens. And today it was all these other drivers who are typical, like especially Larson and Elliott, who are good road course racers, especially Larson at Sonoma. He's the one that has the tire issues. It's Chase Elliott that gets caught with the issues on pit road, where he the tire won't go on right, so he has to pit outside the box and he gets the penalty. It's everyone else around Suarez instead of Suarez this time. And I thought that was so funny because typically when you think of the Hendricks cars, you just think of flawless execution because they're like the team, especially in the last 2 years in this series. So, Daniel called me over the phone with like 3 laps to go, and he was like,
it was 5 laps.
5 to go. He's like, "How do you feel, John?" I was like, "Shut up, Daniel. How do you think I feel?" And so I didn't feel secure in Suarez winning this race, so he took the white flag, because then whatever happens after that, it's over, because he saw the white flag, race is over. There's no green, white checkers. So, but even then, like you said, Gabriel, when as soon as you see the camera cuts to Allmendinger just stopped in the grass, parked off by the gravel, it's like, oh no, because like the tires were shot. If it does go to a restart, Suarez in the post race press conference that I read, basically admitted like if it came down to a restart, his tires were gone. He was sitting ducks. So everyone was nervous on pins and needles. So I'm sure even Suarez himself, given his history, I mean, he knows, but it just, my heart sank too.
He said as soon as he started like took the white flag, he started like crying inside the car, which man, I don't know if I'd want watery eyes on a road course. But so you said, Gabriel, you said you cried after the race. So why did you have that emotional reaction?
It's really a combination of stuff. Growing up, I was always known in school as the kid who watched NASCAR. And again, I'm Dominican. This country doesn't give a rip about NASCAR. If I could count, there were actually like a few. I know there are a few NASCAR fans out there, because every time I tune into the Speed Channel back then, Speed Channel NASCAR races, they always say like, shout out to this guy from this country. Usually some of the announcers, which are in Spanish, they say, oh, shout out to this guy from the Dominican Republic. And I'm like, oh, cool. There's Dominican NASCAR fans too. But for some reason, I never managed to meet up with these guys. Like the only Dominican NASCAR fans I know are the ones that I have tried to get into NASCAR. And there's like this one guy from college that saw me playing NR 2003 on break. And he approached me and said, do you watch NASCAR? If you're not watching NASCAR, why would you play NR 2003? Like only the people who watch NASCAR know what NR 2003 is.
I don't get what the deal with that game. It is 19 years old and people are playing it still.
Because it rules
religiously.
Gabriel knows.
Hey, I do.
The peak NASCAR game for me was Chase with the Cup 2005.
Oh yeah, I actually still have some of my old games. See if I had them right here. front of them. Got them. Dirt to Daytona.
GameCube, baby.
NASCAR Thunder 2003.
2003, Thunder 2003, Rule 2.
I missed that game. I don't think I
They
don't know if
made they made Little E almost unstoppable in that game. Your Little E is over. It's over.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I see over there. I still see NASCAR kart racing. I see NASCAR Unleashed there. You know, a few of those like crazy NASCAR games that I got to play on the Wii. But overall, outside of those games and NR 2003, like those are the only NASCAR games I have. Again, this NASCAR, anything NASCAR related in this country is so hard for me to come around anything NASCAR. If I find some NASCAR related merch, I don't care if it's of a driver that I like, my least favorite driver, I'm buying it.
So who's your least favorite driver?
That's an interesting question because as of right now, I don't have a least favorite driver.
That's totally fair.
That's totally, yeah, it's fair right now. I'm gonna say just like my least favorite driver or a driver that I don't really care about much is Austin Dillon.
Yes,
But
I
he's a very cool dude.
knew you were trustworthy. I knew we just became best friends. Yes. Yes. In my mind, I was like, please say Austin Dillon. Please say Austin Dillon. Please. Yes. You're a smart man, Gabriel.
But Austin's a very chill guy. Come on. I would like to hang out with him and have a beer. He seems pretty chill.
He does seem chill. I just haven't really cared. I just don't really go out of my way to say, yeah, Austin's cool. He's a very underrated super speedway racer. So I'm gonna say that. That is true. Yeah, I'm not gonna diss his talent. I'm not gonna knock him for that. I just for whatever reason, there's just something about that dude. Are you gonna watch his reality show, Daniel, as part of your NASCAR beat? Yeah.
No.
Just immediate no.
Nah. I'm not into those.
Nah, me neither.
I was considered for a job at NBC Universal where part of my duties would have been like writing about that.
I mean, a gig's a gig. I mean, you know, if it's your job and they're paying you to do it, then it's different. Like if I would watch it if I got paid to do it, I would care about it. That's my job. But like, just as a casual fan, I can't even think of a single NASCAR driver who I'd be like, yeah, I'd watch that. Like, cause I don't know how, like, as much as I cheer for these guys, like how much of them are really interesting at that level that I want to watch their personal life be scripted on TV.
Bubba Wallace, Daniel Suarez. That's the list. Ryan Blaney.
I was gonna say I feel like Ryan Blaney could do it if like he didn't drive for Penske. Because they micromanage those drivers and their personalities. Like I want to see his lumberjack beard during the season. I hate that he shows up looking like a 12-year-old for Daytona Speed Weeks every year. Like he shows up at the victory banquet looking like the brawny guy, and then Daytona Speed Weeks he's all shaved off again. So that's just a Penske quirk, which I don't understand. But we've talked about this ad nauseum. So
Gabriel, like, so how do you watch races? Like, what's the platform that you watch NASCAR races on?
I normally watch them on TV. You know, they broadcast NASCAR races live, like flag to flag. This was on Speed Channel. Then in 2013, Speed became, like I said, Fox Sports 3, and they still were broadcasting races. But then in 2015, like this Spanish announcer, his name is Tony Rivera, they move him over to the Fox Deportes chain that is in Mexico. So he's only broadcasting races for the main Fox on Mexico. They put other announcers that I feel they don't really have the. They're really bad. I'm forced every time like they call a race. I'm gonna say this: they are worse than the English announcers, than the announcers that you have on Fox or NBC, which is why I endured when people like they complain about the Fox or the NBC and they say that the announcers are terrible, I just laugh and say, you guys never. I had to live through 7 years of Fox Sports 3 and bad announcers. This is nothing compared to that. Then
Okay.
after the 2021 season, then after the 2021 season, aka after the Gen 6 era ended, I was waiting for like, when is the next NASCAR race coming out? And I waited and I waited. And then I checked my TV schedule, the TV program. They have removed NASCAR completely from Fox Sports 3. All they did was, all they were putting there was soccer games, WWE. They were putting some like old Formula One races from like 2018, 2019. But nothing else. They weren't broadcasting anything. I feel like they had just lost interest in NASCAR, and I kind of figured out that were kind of on that path ever since they got rid of Tony Rivera. I feel like Fox Sports 3, they were like giving up on NASCAR. So I'm watching them on stream right now, and I don't know how, but I have never missed a NASCAR race on stream, despite the stream, several of my stream websites crashing, and several like a lot of internet connection issues on my end. I have never missed a NASCAR race to this day, and I have watched them all on stream.
Okay. So how, I know it's only been a few hours since Suarez won, but how are you anticipating maybe that win reverberating through the Latino Hispanic community, that especially internationally?
Personally, on my end, I don't think this is gonna matter much. Like in the grand scheme of things, like in Dominican national media, no one's gonna talk about Daniel Suarez because the guy's Mexican. Yeah, he may be, the guy's Hispanic. Sometimes they might be talking about it like in some like,
You there, Gabriel?
well, I know. But when it comes to the local media, I don't feel it's gonna matter much. But at this point, I've grown from that. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if NASCAR isn't other people's cup of tea. What matters is that NASCAR is my cup of tea, and I love it. Even if this win doesn't mean a lot, doesn't mean anything to other people around me, it means a lot to me because Suarez, not only did he carry an entire country, he carried an entire community, the Hispanic Latin American community. We were all united for this great moment.
That's awesome. That's great to hear, man. So we need to like somehow get you some Suarez merch. Like we need to get that to you somehow.
Oh, I love to.
Like you can't just live off of 2009 Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah,
merch.
that shirt barely fits me anymore.
I just want to kind of elaborate on what Gabriel got to here. It just feels like it was like a perfect day. Not just because everything worked out for Suarez's win, but he won in an area, in a state that has a has a high Hispanic population count. There is a tremendous amount. Daniel can vouch for this. I said it over the phone. Whenever the camera cut to the Daniel's Amigos people in the stands and they're waving their T-shirts and their towels and their flags every time he goes by, I said, I wish I was there. It looked like the best party in town. So you have a Mexican driver winning. You have racing for a team that's co-owned by a Cuban. There were pit crew members who were African-American, all driving with the name of this 6-year-old white girl who has cancer and is undergoing cancer surgery tomorrow.
Yeah.
Just all the stars were aligned.
And right before Suarez said in his press conference, he's going on a previously planned trip home to Mexico tomorrow.
Right, exactly.
So like
this was it was black, brown, white, all of it just coming together in this beautiful celebration of auto sport. And it just speaks volumes to what Trackhouse is and what Trackhouse is trying to do with racing, and their business model in racing. It was a perfect day. Days like this are why I love auto racing and why I love sports in general. And like I wish every Sunday felt like today. Not that I'm saying I want Daniel Suarez to win every race, but I'm saying like just in general, I wish that just every weekend was just a feel-good weekend like this, because it just, I don't know, it just, Daniel, you can speak to it, you know, just speaking over the phone with you during the race, like just,
like I told you, like the first win's always like the worst to get, like it's the hardest to get. And
I agree.
It's your pins and needles. Like I know Dale Earnhardt Jr. has said, like, you know, when you're about to win your first like Daytona 500, like you start hearing every single noise in your car, and like you what was that like, and it's like that sitting at home as a fan or whatever. It's like what is going to go wrong, and nothing went wrong. Like everything has to go your way, pretty much, for this stuff to happen. And next up is Tyler Reddick, who's the guy who should have won a few times. Should had the car to win at Auto Club. Was 2 turns away at Bristol, and I think was there one other he was kind of close to, or is that it?
I can't think of any off the top of my
Crystal
head.
Dirt, the one that was stolen away from him.
Yeah.
But
he
owned up to that.
He's a snake bitten guy that needs to be getting it soon, and he will. I have no doubt in my mind. Tyler Reddick is gonna get it soon, but Dale Suarez, he's done his time.
Yes. Hey, Gabriel, since Mr. McFadden here has some connections and has a large following, I think we should just inundate, and people that listen to this podcast should just help inundate Trackhouse Racing social media to make them aware of your story, and see if we can't get some Daniel Suarez gear down to you. We're going to make this a thing. We're absolutely going to make this a thing.
I'll love to. I mean, you don't have to go above and beyond for me, but I will love to.
we're gonna make sure that they know that you at least exist. Question: let's say that you're given enough money to come to 3 NASCAR races. What are the 3 races that you're going to? First of all, have you ever been to a NASCAR race? I think you said you've never been to a NASCAR race.
No, I've never been to
one. He's only been to Disney World.
You've only been to Disney World. That's right. Yeah, you've been to Florida. So you've been to Florida for Disney World. It's the only time you've been in the States. So let's say NASCAR comes to you and says, "Hey, Gabriel, what are your 3 dream races, all expenses paid? Where are you going?"
Daytona 500 is one of those.
Oh, for sure.
Bristol night race. The third one, say it's kind of a toss-up. I'll say Martinsville because I want to eat those hot dogs.
They're nothing special, man. Let me tell you from experience.
No, I'm sure they're great. What are you talking about?
They're
I've never tried a Martinsville hot dog.
They're very red hot dogs.
You've never what? I'm sorry?
I've never tried a Martinsville hot dog. Don't spoil the experience, guys.
Yeah, Daniel. Don't be the turd in the punch bowl. Hey, I've never been to Martinsville either, so I will gladly share in a Martinsville hot dog experience with you, Gabriel. So, I've only ever been to the Brickyard, road course, and oval, but I'm going to get out there. The last couple of years I've been in law school, but I have my life back now, and I'm definitely planning on going to Daytona 2023. So that's definitely a bucket list item for me, as is the Bristol night race, as is Martinsville. I really hope they get the configuration for this new car figured out for Martinsville for the fall race, because I really don't want that track to go south. See, again, we're on the same page again, Gabriel. We're cut from the same cloth. I knew this is all going to work out. Look at you, Daniel, helping foster relationships and friends.
That's what the internet is for.
This is what NASCAR is all about. It's the power of autosport, bringing people together.
So Gabriel, what do you do for a living? What do your parents do?
I mean, dad's a doctor, mom's a teacher.
Cool.
Nothing special.
What about you?
Just recently started a job. I don't want to get into too much detail, but
Cool.
I'm starting to get, well off. I'm well off myself.
Okay.
Fair enough.
So aside from NASCAR, like what are your hobbies?
Video games. Let's see what else. I do play basketball too on the some weekends.
Cool.
All right.
And
Do you have an NBA team
What
or an
else?
NCAA team basketball wise you cheer for?
yeah, I don't really watch NCAA team, but my NBA team are the San Antonio Spurs.
Nice. Cool. That's a good choice. I'm from Indiana, so I'm a woe-begotten Pacers fan. But Greg Popovich is from Indiana. He's from Maryville. So
Cool.
so you're welcome.
Hey, you guys got Chris Duarte treating well.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. The Dominican player. Yeah. No, I love Chris Duarte. When he was healthy, he played well. He had a couple ankle issues, but yeah, no, I was very impressed with him. I'm looking forward to him playing next year on his second year. I forgot all about that. See, small world, Daniel. Look at you. Good choice. Oh, I'm so happy right now. What a great day.
So Gabriel, before we wrap up, like, is there anything else you want to share about just what the significance of today and what it means for what do you think it means for NASCAR?
This is another win, in recent years, especially the last 2 years with Bubba winning the Talladega race, Larson winning the title, and now Suarez at Sonoma. These are like the three main guys that came out of this Drive for Diversity project. So I believe now that these drivers are breaking out and they're bringing new fans to NASCAR, I feel like this is going to open up the floodgates to not only other international drivers, but also like what Trackhouse is doing right now with Kimi Raikkonen. He's going to go Watkins Glen. They might also bring out other international drivers from other sports disciplines. They don't have to limit themselves to like young drivers, developing them through the ladder. They can also go for established veterans to help like build a program like for a startup team like Trackhouse. Having Kimi Raikkonen build like the road course program, which is already strong, it's going to be unbeatable now.
Yeah, and that car that he's going to get in, number 91, it's now going to be proven winning equipment 3 times over. So, I don't think anyone's expecting him to go win at Watkins Glen, but there's a chance that he can, show some competitive speed. Maybe, who knows? Top 15. I don't know. That'd be great. No, that'd be. I'm looking forward to that.
20 place finish, and I feel like that's a pretty reasonable expectation.
Nah, Trackhouse is never going to lose on road courses ever again. I don't know what.
that you're right. They are 2 for 2.
They're 2 for 2. Yeah,
so far this year.
They're just gonna never ever. We'll think about Chase Elliott as a road course schmuck because it's just going to be Trackhouse for the rest of eternity on road courses. No, I'm excited to see Kimi Raikkonen. I'd like to see other drivers from outside of NASCAR come in and try that. Also, I do think that this is, again, it's another win for the Drive for Diversity program. Obviously, Kyle Larson's the biggest talent to come out of that program. But also, I'd like to see NASCAR keep fostering women in the sport as well. I know that there's Haley Deegan and Natalie Decker, and I think it was Busch that just announced big sponsorships for, I think, 7 or 8 women throughout several levels of the sport. That they're still missing that Danica, and I know she's a lightning bolt figure in the sport even after her retirement. But the sport is better; it's more interesting when there's someone like that in the sport, and it doesn't need to just be one. I'm not saying we need to have a tokenism here when it comes to women in the sport, but you get what I'm saying. As we see with Trackhouse today and the win and all the different colors that were represented at the race today, it just raises the entire sport when everyone's involved. And it, like I said,
I tweeted about this, a little while ago. It's like active Cup drivers right now in the Cup Series include an Asian American, Kyle Larson, who's the defending champion.
Yep.
A black driver, Bubba Wallace, winner. Cuban American, Eric Almirola, and now Daniel Suarez, the first Mexican driver to win a Cup race. That's
right.
I mean, come on. We're in uncharted territory for NASCAR, and
we're also starting to see it creep into ownership as well. Pitbull and Michael Jordan. So
and Emmett Smith.
And Emmett Smith, that's correct. Yeah, Jesse Iwuji in the Truck Series. Yeah, no, yeah, I totally forgot. Yeah, of course the Cowboys fans are gonna bring up Emmett Smith. But yeah, no, you're right.
Hey,
you're absolutely right.
I resent that. I resent that tone.
No, you're absolutely right, and it's great to see. And as an IndyCar fan, I wonder why it doesn't happen in IndyCar. But we've talked about that before. But yeah, I'll see the floor to Gabriel. Any last thoughts? Anything else you'd like to say? I'm serious about making Trackhouse aware of you. It is my mission to make sure that you get some Suarez gear sent to you.
Yeah. Last thoughts. I mean, what else can I say? Thanks for having me here again. This is my first podcast appearance. Just getting started out in this stuff like that. So,
well, I'm really glad you could join us at the last minute.
For like shameless plugs.
Do what?
Safe place for you. What? I'm sorry.
Shameless plugs.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Sure. Have a YouTube channel. It's called G2B Racing. Make sure to subscribe. I also have Instagram. It's also called G2B Racing. I also have a Discord for some of the people who want to add me on Discord. There, it's called Galax Rocks 15 on Discord. That's about it.
Oh no! Don't forget your Twitter account at.
You did that promotion for me, Daniel. I don't think
it's at.
I don't think I
don't know how to pronounce it. Gabox Rocks 15. GABOX.
Yes, sir.
ROX 15. That's where you can follow Gabriel on Twitter.
I've already followed Gabriel on Twitter. Follow me back, and then seriously, if you are ever serious about coming to the States again and catching a Cup race with myself or Daniel, I sincerely mean it. I would love to catch a race with you. Don't care if it's trucks, Xfinity, ARCA, Cup level. Don't care. Happy to be there.
Sure.
You're going to an ARCA race at Iowa Speedway. That's what you're going to get. And that's what you're going to
like. I didn't say that. You're putting words in my mouth. But no, for real though, this was great. It was lovely talking to you. Lovely meeting you. Daniel Suarez, NASCAR Cup Series winner. That's so cool, man. What a day.
Woo!
That was great.
Almost Suarez.
All right. This has been this week's emergency episode of Dropping the Hammer with Daniel McFadden. Thank you guys for listening. Gabriel, thank you for joining us. You can follow me on Twitter at Daniel McFadden. You can follow John at John Law Follett, Filet. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Daniel McFadden. And please like and subscribe on your preferred podcasting platform. Dropping the Hammer with Daniel McFadden. Thank you again for listening, and we'll talk to you after the bye week. So no, except for truck races. There are truck races at Knoxville.
Knoxville's next week, guys.
Yeah,
that'll be fun.
That was a complete fiasco last year. So hopefully they learned their lesson. But it is the truck series. But yeah. Anyway, no Cup, no Xfinity, just truck. So we will talk to you
after
next week.
Nashville.
Thank you guys for listening. All right, stop recording.
Cool.
All right, Gabriel, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thanks.
What time is it for you right now?
It's 10:56. Okay. Eastern time. I leave Eastern time.
Okay. Same.
Here's the thing. I wanted to ask, because I Central America geography is my best. I'm not entirely sure where the Dominican Republic is located. Where is it?
We're located southeast of Cuba, right next to Haiti, island of Hispaniola.
Yeah, you share that island with Haiti, correct?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Caribbean boy.
What town do you live in there? What town do you live in Dominican Republic?
I live in the capital, Santo Domingo.
Santo Domingo, cool, great. Ugh. I would love to travel. I didn't know you guys were still in. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You're just like directly south from Maine. So yeah, that makes south. That makes sense. You'd be in Eastern. I thought you were
You guys
farther.
visit when you have the chance. I live where you vacation, basically.
Hey, I am itching to go traveling, especially after COVID and law school. I'm itching to get out, and a beach, a very warm beach, sounds wonderful right now. So, no, this was great. This was a lot of fun.
You better go into work tomorrow, Gabriel. Just being
not really. I go to work. I have an 11 to 8 job.
Okay.
Yes. So go into work and just be as obnoxious as possible about Suarez winning.
No, not really. None of those people care about NASCAR. I kind of grown from that phase. Now, if people just kind of recognize that I recognize something NASCAR related, I'm just gonna start a conversation with them. But I've kind of embraced this this role that I have. It makes me unique,
Right.
Back then, I just tried to get with the back in school, back when I was in school, I tried to blend in with the crowd. I didn't want to stand out much, but now I'm like, I like something that other people don't. I kind of build different.
Yep, that's the right attitude to have. Is always be yourself. Never compromise who you are. How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
No, it's okay. 24.
Okay. Making me feel very old, but I'll be 34. I'll be 34 this year, and I'm older than Daniel is, I think, right?
Yeah, 24, and you got GameCube games. That's kind of surprising.
It's cool. Oh, he left. Where'd he go? I'm the host now.
He left.
He must have had to. He has technical difficulties with his computer sometimes. After an hour, like the charger just like. So that's what happened. This has happened before with him. I don't know if he's going to get back on soon or not. But I do know that I have to be at work at 8 a.m. So I have to get to bed soon. So I'm going to take this as a chance to leave and shut down the YouTube live feed. I'll text Daniel. Sorry that he couldn't do this over video. He just has some technical difficulties. But for real though, it was wonderful talking to you. Always be who you are. Never compromise who you are. And like I said, if you're ever in the States, want to go to a race, let me know. And if I'm ever in Dominican Republic and want to hit up all the cool spots, I'll be sure to hit you up. So best of luck to you, Gabriel. Thanks for getting to talk. Thanks for talking to us.